Are you afraid of overcoming your fears? Well, this is something that's near and dear to my heart because I've lived for years with so many different fears and not taking action because the fear of the unknown, the fear of failure, or the fear of rejection. And a couple examples I'm going to give you, both of myself, my niece, and then a sales rep or a new business owner, is that with me personally, when I grew up, I didn't like roller coasters or heights. I would even get motion sickness in the car. So what did I do at the age of 23? I ended up, after learning how to fly remote control airplanes, I said, man, what would this be like to get a pilot's license? So of course I go to the airport, start taking flying lessons, and of course I get sick. But after that lesson, I realized it was the most exciting thing I've ever done in my life up to that point. And what I did is just kept taking action. And eventually, within a year, I had my pilot's license at the age of 23, which is pretty awesome, pretty cool. And I did it so quickly and followed a process that because I just followed my mentors and listened to what they were doing, I had my license, like I said, in a year. And by the time I had my license, I'm thinking, man, what are they doing? Do they realize I'm still afraid of heights and all this other stuff, even though I've overcome this goal? So it's amazing what you can accomplish when you do overcome some fears. Another example is my niece had never bought a car from a car dealer before. So I started giving her some tips as she was asking me some different tips since I bought many cars. And I finally said, hey, let's stop talking about this. Let's just schedule the time to go out and do it because action cures fear. That's one of the best ways to cure fear, at least to make progress on your goals or your vision or whatever you're trying to accomplish. So we went to a couple of different car dealers, and I told her we're going to have fun. And I said, hey, maybe even I'll wear a wig or something, like an afro wig, like I've got hair. And I didn't have time to buy the wig or get it, but we still had a ton of fun with that. Another example was with a business owner or new salesperson, and when it came to them prospecting and contacting other people, I talked to them about 20 different ways. I actually went out with them, did some mentoring with them. I showed them how to contact people, how to communicate, and we did it together. However, once it was their time to do it, things didn't go so well because they never took the action to do it. So you got to cement the learning with the action. So with fear, there's a few different fears that typically people have, and a few of them, or all of them that I'm going to talk about, I've had, which is the fear of rejection, the fear of the unknown, and also the fear of failure. And that was a huge thing. So a couple of things I had to do with the many fears that I've had throughout my life is to reframe my mindset. Instead of looking at this as a failing experience or something I don't know, I had to look at it as a learning opportunity. And once I switched that around over time, that actually helped me out to move in and lean into those experiences where I can now start to learn and grow from those experiences. And I had fun. Sometimes I messed up. Sometimes I did so awesome and it was amazing. And there's still a learning process. But when you do it over and over and over again, and it becomes a habit, things get easier and you don't have to think about them so much. And then you can start to layer on more complex things and how you talk in that situation. But when it comes to these failures, you got to realize that you could stew around all day long because I've spent years worrying about what other people think, rejection, fear of failure, fear of the unknown. But until you take that step or walk through that door, just taking one small step, you're not going to realize how simple it is. Because most of our fears are not, or most of our fears are irrational. We want them to be rational fears. And the rational ones are maybe life and death situations, which most of us don't have those situations. It's not a life or death situation to go out to a car dealer and talk to a salesperson. So you want to make sure you're on target and you're not irrationally letting these fears control you. So again, some of the best things you can do is get a mentor, have them come with you. That's an awesome way to learn. Another area is to both visualize what the outcome is going to look like, maybe what your challenges might be, how you'll overcome them, and really having a vision of a bigger goal that excites you, which is how I was able to get my pilot's license when I didn't like roller coasters, nor did I like heights or motion sickness, which I got a lot. And another area, once again, is changing your mindset, reframe. Instead of having a failure, it's going to be a learning experience. Be curious as to what you can learn about those experiences or that new opportunity that you have. And then the biggest thing is just to take action. Action overcomes your fears. And when you do that and you set that up as a habit, all of a sudden you're going to be doing that on multiple different things. You don't have to jump off a cliff. You don't have to take huge steps or strides. You just have to take small actions and create that as a habit. And all of a sudden you're doing that in many different areas of your life. So get rid of those fears and don't be afraid to take the next step.